Hey everybody, welcome to the Lifestyle Practice Podcast. Steve Vandegraff here. We're closing out 2024. You'll probably hear this episode around New Year's Day 2025. Happy New Year's to you. I'm coming at you right out of the gate with this episode. I have a message just for pre-owners. I'd like to challenge you to become an owner this year. Recent grads, dentists in an associateship, dentists in a GPR, I'm talking to you and I'm giving you this challenge. Change your life this year and become a business owner. I'll preface this right up front. There's nothing wrong with being an associate dentist. You can have a great career and enjoy a noble profession. You're every bit as outstanding a clinician and a healthcare provider when you're an employee. Your life's probably a lot less stressful if you're an employee. But if you're listening to this podcast, if you're in the TLP group, you want ownership. So I'm speaking to you. And you know that I'm very biased towards this. I want to help motivate you today for a few minutes to help you make the jump and become a business owner this year. There's a couple reasons why you should do this. The first, of course, is as an owner, your income potential goes way up. The sky is the limit, really. But even if you're not way up in the sky, even if you do the exact same amount of dentistry, your income is much stronger if you own. Here's why. Case in point for you. Let's say you're an associate alone at a practice doing $1 million in collections per year. The practice hygiene department is responsible for, we'll say, 25% of production, so you're doing the other $750K. As an associate, you're compensated between usually 25 to 33%. So your income, which comes in on a W-2, is between $195,000 and $240,000. Now, let's say you're doing the exact same dentistry. Every procedure is the same. Office has the exact same numbers, but now you own the practice instead of work at the practice. As an owner, first of all, the hygiene profits are now yours. So you're not just compensated with what you're doing with your hands alone. Also, and especially, you're no longer paid a percentage of what you produce. This is a different setup now. Now you're paid whatever number is above your break-even point. Let's say your costs are pretty average. You pay your staff well, but not too much. Your supplies and materials are average. Your monthly expenses may be $40,000 to $45,000. Now, same numbers, same amount of dentistry, your income is $460,000 to $520,000 a year. You have doubled your income. Exact same amount of dentistry, but because you own, you've doubled your income. And of course, you don't want to just repeat the same amount of dentistry. Part of ownership is you're jumping in the driver's seat. You're going to take the wheel and you want to do way more. And the cool thing is your break-even point, it doesn't really change very much as you start doing larger numbers. So your profit grows significantly with each small additional output. Remember, it's not a percentage anymore. You get everything above your cost. This is why the sky is the limit when you own. If you're motivated, you're a producer, you work hard, and you keep your overhead lean, the sky is the limit. And it gets better too. Your income potential isn't just stronger, but as a business owner, you have a lot of levers to pull to maximize the income you actually take home and minimize your tax burden. The government is everybody's business partner, and they get to help themselves to a good portion of all of your work. With a W-2, when you're an employee, there are very limited options in the tax code to help you lessen your tax burden. But as a business owner, it's completely different. There's a lot of ways for you to minimize your taxes. Federal, state, and FICA. There's a lot more at your disposal. I have a session with most of my clients focused largely just on this one topic. If you can bring home more of what you earn, if you can lower your taxes, the savings are huge. And the savings over a career is a large fortune. A last point on the financial side of things, why you should own this year. When you build your practice and you're cruising along, you're not just making great income. You're building an asset, your practice. It has value in itself. Someday, you'll be able to sell that asset. The bigger, more productive, and more profitable your practice is, the more valuable it will be when that day finally comes. Last year, an NBA player, Draymond Green, he took issue with the word owner, speaking about the owners of NBA teams. He wasn't happy with owners, felt that they had too much money and they should be paying him more. It was interesting. I think it was Mark Cuban, an owner from another NBA team. He spoke back to him and he said, EQUITY, equity. It's what you don't get. And then he offered to pay for business classes for this player. Equity means that you have bought and built something. It's yours. You own it. It's different than getting a paycheck. And face it, people who are wealthy and understand money, they own. They own businesses, real estate, assets. They own stuff. If you want to get off the rat race, the hamster wheel someday, learn about equity and owning cash flowing, appreciating assets. And if you're a dentist, there is no better asset for you to have than a dental practice. Remember, you're doing a career worth of dentistry, whether you're an associate or an owner. You're going to be doing the same amount of work with your hands. As an associate, when you're done, you hang it up and that's it. But if you're an owner doing the exact same amount of dentistry, you're going to have this nice egg waiting for you at the end of the journey. So financially speaking, you need to become an owner. But that's not it. Another perk of ownership is you get to have it your way. Is there something you don't like that you don't want to deal with anymore? Well, you call the shots. So you can say no to doing endo on number 3, or you can say no to doing lower denture or to peds. Or you can say yes to those things and no to something else. It's totally up to you. You get to decide the dentistry that you do. Is there a patient or a type of patient you don't like? Well, you don't need permission from anybody anymore to dismiss that patient or to drop some insurance. Do you want to help people out and do work for free for someone that needs it? You don't need permission for that. You call the shots. You can do it in your office. You are the master planner of your schedule. If there's any days or times you want to work or not work, that's fine. You get to decide. Most dentists, they don't take advantage of this perk even when they do own. But if you truly choose your personal ideal schedule, your life gets so much better. I'm working with a client right now. He started at 5 days. He just moved down to 3 days so that he can be with his kids. It's awesome. I'm working with another client that actually added a day. So she's working more days, but she works shorter periods and she's able to get home and pick up her kids from school. That's what she wants to do. I have another client. We just dropped Wednesdays because he likes a little halftime break during the week. Whatever it is for you, you get to choose. Personally, I really liked working early in the morning and then getting off early in the afternoon. I really like taking extra time off May through August. The point is you have complete control. So get a practice, do things right. You can work when you want, as much as you want, doing the type of work you enjoy. So for finances and for your freedom, you should own. To be clear, I'm not saying this is easier. It's not. It's super tough. It's way harder, but it is worth it. Why do you need to work to become an owner this year? If you tell yourself to get a practice someday, that means probably you're not going to have a practice for a very long time, maybe ever. But if you commit to making it happen this year, then you can't just put it off. Each year as an owner, when you realize how valuable it is, with the time value of money and how precious your time is earlier in your life, it's that much more valuable, that much more important to act now. In meeting and watching a lot of dentists, I've noticed something of a pattern. It doesn't always hold true, but I think there's something to it. Your first 2 years out of school are a blueprint of what your career will be like. If you're hungry to become a clinical master and doing specialty procedures your first year out, well, I know that's the dentist that's going to be doing implants, big surgeries, cosmetic cases, and all these things for higher paying patients. If you're hungry to own and you're jumping into ownership right away, hungry to learn business and finances, well, that's the person that's going to be doing well from the beginning of their career and have all sorts of opportunities down the road. If somebody plays it safe, never pushes themselves, never gets outside their comfort zone, they don't ever take a swing for the fences, well, that person is very likely to be in the same position in several years from now. Being passive, playing it safe, waiting, that never got anybody anywhere. So don't wait, don't delay, don't piddle. What you do now determines who and where you'll be later. So I'm challenging you to change your life and make the move this year. To help, I wanted to throw an offer out to you guys. If you may be interested in coaching and you know you want to buy a practice, if you're serious about a specific one, I'd be willing, as capacity allows, to review the practice that you're looking at. Send me the prospectus, 2 years of P&Ls. I'll need a procedures performed report, and I'll give you my take on the opportunity, its strengths and weaknesses of the practice, if there's any red flags, and kind of how I would approach the opportunity. We want to help you get into the driver's seat and take control of your career and your life. Again, it's not easy, but you owe it to yourself to go for it. Email us at stevederekmatt@thelifestylepractice.com. Thanks for listening.
Sicker than your average, sicker than your average. Sicker than your average, sicker than your average.